Guys, welcome back to Medan, North Sumatra, Indonesia. Keeping with the theme of the channel, I thought I would summarize my expenses during my 20 days or so here on the island of Sumatra while walking with all my luggage to a spot where I can catch a local bus to eventually get to the airport. So Sumatra, like the rest of Indonesia, is fairly inexpensive. My biggest expense by far was on accommodation. Unlike Java and Bali, I did not stay in a single dormitory here. They seem to not exist from what I've seen online. So it was all private rooms. I only wild camped one time actually. And I took one overnight bus. Private rooms range from, I think the cheapest, which was really not nice, was about $6 US, and the most expensive was not even 20. I think I paid maybe 18 or something the most. In total, I spent, what did I spend? Like 12 or 13 US dollars a day on accommodation. Yeah, okay, I'll just tell you, in total, all of my expenses were about 20 US dollars a day over 20 days. So that's about 400 US dollars is what I spent on Sumatra. More than half of that was accommodation. Some transportation for long distance buses. You're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 US per hour of travel time. And keep in mind that travel goes very, very slow on the roads here. You're lucky if you can average like 30 kilometers an hour, 19 miles an hour on long distance roads, because they're very winding and the infrastructure is not even as good as it is on Java or Bali, other parts of Indonesia. So travel is very slow but inexpensive, somewhere in the range of $1 US per hour, which is my golden spot or whatever, my the area that I'm always, hello sir, the price I'm always looking for, $1 US per hour. Food is very inexpensive. It's one of the least expensive countries probably in the world, even by Southeast Asian standards. You can always find a meal in a local warung, like a little local hole-in-the-wall restaurant, for $1 US or less. 10,000 rupiah, which is like 65 cents, is what I usually look for, but I often paid 15,000, about $1 for a meal. We're talking like the Indonesian staples: bakso ayam, soto ayam, nasi goreng, mie goreng. Just basic meals, but hearty and delicious and relatively healthy and inexpensive and readily available absolutely everywhere. You're never more than a stone's throw from a restaurant serving food for about $1 or less for a meal. Yeah, I didn't really do much else. So there's this big national park near the town of Bukit Lawang. Hello sir. And it's very expensive to go, so in the end I did not go. Hello. Yeah, it was like over $100 per day to be in the park. Hello. Hello. The prices that I was seeing online, it's mandatory to go with a guide, like as part of a tour group, which I never enjoy. And hello. So I kind of lost interest, and in the end I just decided not to go to this national park. That would have been extremely expensive. Other than that, there are lots of cheap activities. I rented a scooter one day for 85,000, which is like $5.50 or so for 24 hours scooter rental. That's when I wild camped. That was very cheap. And another spot, they were asking for double the price, over $10 for the day. I ended up not doing it. So in some spots you can rent scooters for cheap, motorbikes or whatever, but not necessarily everywhere. In the end I did not get a SIM card, local SIM card, hello sir, or an eSIM. So I was disconnected when I'm not in a hotel with Wi-Fi. I'd be completely disconnected, but it worked out fine. It was not an issue for me. It's kind of nice to actually to disconnect a little bit and go back to like the old way of traveling. It's only in recent years that I've been buying SIM cards in most countries that I visit. Let's see, what else? That's pretty much it. I didn't really have a whole lot of other expenses. So yeah, to summarize, about 20 US dollars per day, about 400 US dollars over a 20-day span is what I spent, which is a little bit more than I usually spend, but probably that's the result of no dormitories. There's no dormitories, so I was getting a private room every night, which is fine. And I only wild camped once. I normally wild camp more often, but it's rainy all the time here. Right now, it's in particular, it's like rainy pretty much everywhere that I've been, which really puts a damper on wild camping for me personally. I don't like camping in the rain, got my stuff all wet, so that's why I spent a bit more than average, but it's still pretty cheap. Overall, highly recommend. People are extremely friendly, pretty easy to get around. You can always find everything you need, lots to do, a lot of beautiful nature. Even the city here, Medan, is interesting. I enjoyed hanging out in the city for a few days. So yeah, that's it guys. my Sumatra expenses. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon somewhere else.